Pandas is a widely used data analysis and manipulation library. It has a variety of functions and methods to perform typical operations efficiently. A typical task in data analysis is filtering data points. There are several Panda methods for filtering the data points. In this tutorial, we will focus on one of these methods, which is the query function. The query function allows for applying filtering condition as a string, and it also allows for using some built-in functions which provide more flexibility. We can easily combine multiple conditions and operations like AND or using the query function, and we can also use simple math operation inside it. So stay tuned and learn all that you can about Pandas query. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any query or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.
Hello learners, welcome to the tutorial of Pandas query. My name is Gaurav and I once again welcome you to all to Great Learning. Now, moving to the agenda, first we'll discuss what is Python and its uses. Moving ahead, we'll see different types of packages present in Python such as NumPy, Matplotlib, Seaborn and Pandas. After that, we will discuss what is Pandas. So Pandas is basically a Python library that is used for data analysis. Then we will see pandas.df.query method. So basically we are using df.query method to filter the data, right? And then we will see the certain conditions if you want to apply this pandas.df.query method. And after knowing the condition, we will see the practical implementation of pandas.query. So now let's understand about the Python language. So Python is a general purpose language which is having a simple syntax. So as I already told you that it's having a very simple syntax and friendly to the user. Also, when I'm talking about general purpose language, that means you can create a different variety of programs in Python. Also, Python is used in GUI applications. So Python provides several libraries such as PyQt5, you are having Python tkender from which you can make a good GUI applications. Along with that, it is also used in the software as well as web development too. Now, Python also supports functional, procedural and object-oriented programming. So in object-oriented programming, basically we are dealing with the classes and object, right? Next point we are having it is interpreted and high-level language. So what do you mean by interpreter? So basically interpreter converts the source code line by line during runtime, right? So there are several companies who are using Python such as Google, Facebook, Netflix. So after understanding about the Python languages, let's see different types of packages that are present in Python. So Python is having a massive collection of libraries, and Python provides several libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, which are used for the data visualization, data analysis, and also used in machine learning. Right? So here we are having some popular libraries, NumPy. So NumPy is used for scientific and numeric analysis. Coming to the Pandas, as I already told you that it is the library used for data analysis. Next, we are having Matplotlib and Seaborn. So these are the libraries which are mainly used in the data visualization. Next, we are having scikit-learn. So this is a very useful library that is used in machine learning. So this is the basic idea about the packages in Python. So let's understand about Pandas library. So as I already told you that Pandas library is used for mainly data analysis, right? And it is one of the most used data manipulation library also. So let's take an example of data set. If you are having any data set and if you want to analyze that particular data set, then you can use this Pandas library. Also, it is an open source and Pandas is built on top of NumPy because it provides high performance. Along with that, here the data analysis is faster and it is also used in data cleaning. Next, as I already told you that it is a data analysis tool. Also, the data is stored in the data frame, right? Moving ahead, many types of data can be read using Pandas. So let's suppose that if you are having your data set in CSV file, then also with the help of the Pandas library, you can read that file. Even you can read the Excel file also, and there are a lot of files. With the help of Pandas, you can read the data, right? So the module that you have to import in order to perform the Pandas library is import pandas as PD, right? So this is the module. So now let's understand about pandas.dataframe.query method. So what is df.query method here? So let's understand. Python is an excellent language for data analysis. We know that Python is the best language for the data analysis, right? Python provides us the pandas library from which we can import the data set and we can analyze that particular data set. So here if you see, pandas is a Python library that makes importing and analyzing data a lot easier. Also, data analysis necessitates numerous filtering techniques. So here what happens, pandas provide a lot of filtering method to us, and one of the methods are here df.query method. So in a simple words, I can say that pandas query is the alternative way to filter the data. So how we can filter the data? Let's now understand the syntax. So now coming to the syntax, we are having here the data frame dot query. So in order to perform this function, first you have to import the pandas. So I'll just import the pandas as import pandas as pd. And along with that, I will be also importing the data set. So my data set is in CSV file. So what I will do here, I will just create a variable name. So let's suppose my variable name is df, and I will write here pd because pd is my alias here, right? So I will just write here pd dot read underscore csv, and I will just give the location of my data set here. So how we can use this pd dot read underscore csv function? Basically, it will convert the CSV file into the data frame, right? Now after that, I will just write the simple syntax here, df dot query, and inside this query function, I can give the condition, and according to that, we can filter the data. So let's understand the syntax here. So this is the data frame dot query. So basically expression indicates the string, right? Now coming to the in place. So basically in place indicates whether the query should have modified the data in place or return a modified copy. Now coming to this is nothing but a keyword arguments. So if you want to add additional keyword arguments to this query function, you can add it. So this is the basic syntax. Now let's see the conditions for data frame dot query method. So the first condition is that your column name must be in string values. So let's suppose if I'm importing any data set, so there the column name must be of string values, right? So if I'm writing here, let's suppose column name as gender, then it is in string values, right? Next condition. So now the data frame dot query method only works if there are no blank space in the column name. So what does this point tell? So let's suppose if I'm having a column name as eye color. So here you can see that I'm having the blank space. So if you are having the blank space in between the column name, then you can't work out with df.query method. So in order to perform the query method, we have to insert the values here. So what I will do here, I will insert here the underscore, right? So I will just insert here I underscore color. Now you can perform this query method. So how can I do this? I will be basically using the loop that we will be seeing in the practical implementation. So now let's see the example of df.query. So as I already told you that query method you can use to filter the data, right? So we can filter a data with single condition, with multiple condition, and also you can filter it through the categorical variable in a list of items. So what does it mean? So I have already given you the example of eye color. This is my categorical variable. So let's suppose that eye color is in blue, black, and in brown. But I want only black and blue, right? So what I can do here, I will just create a list. I will just write here eye color, eye underscore color in, and in this list, I will just write here blue and black. So let's suppose that whatever the person are there who are having the blue and black eye color, so all the data will be displayed in the output, right? So in this way, we can also filter the data. So this is what we are telling here, categorical variable in a list of items. We'll see in the practical implementation. So now let's see the demo of pandas query. So I will be using here Jupyter notebook. So I'll just go on new and Python 3 file, and let me just rename the name. I will just write here pandas underscore query. Okay, so you can see that the name has been changed to pandas underscore query. Now if I want to use the pandas library, so first I have to import the pandas, right? So I'll just write here import pandas as pd. Also, I have to import the data set. So how to import the data set? So let me write here the variable name as df, and I will write here pd. So basically pd is the alias, right? So I can use alias here, pd dot read underscore csv, because I am using here csv file. So where is my csv file? So if I'm going to my file, here you can see that this is my csv file. So I'll just go here, I will click on properties, and I will just copy this location and I'll just paste it. Now what I will do here, since this is the location of the file, but I have to also give the file name, and file name is here as heroes underscore information. So let me just write here, I'll just write here heroes underscore information. And as we know that my data set is in CSV format, so I have to write here dot CSV. Also, you have to remember that this is the backslash here, right? So just change it into forward slash, or else you will get an error. So I'll just change it. And now if I'm executing it, you can see that it has been executed. So I have already imported my data set. Now if I want to display the information, so which function can I use? I will just write here df.head. So when you are writing here df.head, so by default it will display 5 rows, or you can say that 5 records. So you can see that I'm already getting the 5 records, and the indexing is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Also, if you see here it's written unnamed 0. That means my column indexing is also starting from 0. So what can I do here? I'll just write here index underscore column is equal to 0. And now if I'm executing here, so you can see that unnamed has been removed here. So what will happen here, when I'm writing here index underscore column is equal to 0, so that means the column name, or I will say the first column name, will have the index position 1. Similarly, this is the second column and it will be on the second indexing position. So gender indexing position is at 2, eye color indexing position is at 3, and so on. So in simple words, I can say that when I'm using index underscore column is equal to 0, so my first column will be starting from the index position from 1. So this is the basic idea. Now let's see how many rows and columns we are having in this data set. So for that, I will just write here df.shape. And if I'm executing it, you can see that here I'm having 734 rows and 10 columns that are present in this data set. So let's perform here query functions. So what I will do here, I'll just write here df.query. Now inside this query function, we can pass arguments, right? So we can give the condition. So if you see this data set, we are having different publishers like Marvel Comics, Dark Horse Comics, DC Comics. So what will I do here? I will just write here single quotes and I will write here publisher is equal to, and let me give here the publisher as Marvel Comics. So I'll just write here Marvel Comics and let me execute this. So you can see that I will get in output in the publisher as Marvel Comics. So these are the movies, let's say X-Men, and the here the publisher is Marvel Comics. Then we are having Yellow Claw, Yellow Jacket, right? Now, as I already told you in theory part, that if you see this column name is eye color, right? And there is a gap in between. So we can't perform the query function. Let me execute this. So if I'm writing here df.query, and inside this I'm writing here eye color. Let me just check the spelling of this. So you can see that E is in capital letter whereas C is a small letter. So make sure that your column name must be the same, or else you will get error also for that. So when I'm writing here eye color is equal to, let's suppose here blue, and if I'm executing it, you can see that I'm getting an error. So why this error is coming? Because we have to insert the values in between, right? So for that, I will be using a loop and I will insert the value underscore, because there shouldn't be any gap in between the column name. So now what I will do here, uh, first let me write here df.columns. So when I'm executing this statement, you can see that I am getting all the column names here, right? So the first column name is here name, then second column name we are having gender, eye color, race, hair color, height. So here name is good to go, gender is also good to go, but here in eye color we are having a space. So let me just remove this space. So for that I will be using a loop. So what can I do here? I will just write here for, let me create a variable x in df.columns. Now I have to insert the value, right? And I want to insert the value as underscore. So for that, let me write here one more function here. I'll just write here x dot replace, and I have to replace a blank space with underscore, right? Okay. Now what I will do here, I will just put it into a list and I will assign to the df dot columns. So just let me write here df dot columns. So how this function will work? So we know that x will take the value one by one, right? So it will take the value name. So it will check name, right? So we don't have any gap in name. We also don't have any gap in gender. But when it will take the value of eye color, it will see, yeah, we are having a gap. So it will replace with underscore, right? Let me execute this. And it has been executed. Now, if I'm writing my df dot columns, and now if I'm running it, you can see that earlier we were having a blank space, but here it has been replaced by underscore. Now I will perform the queries, that is pandas query. So I'll just write here df.query, and here I'll just write simple eye color, eye underscore color. Make sure that your column name is correct here. So eye underscore color is equal to, let me give here blue. Okay. Now if I'm executing this, so you can see that we are getting output as this. Let me just remove this gap, and now if I'm executing it, so now if you see in this output we are getting the eye color as blue, right? And these are the movies, right? X-Men, in which we are having the eye color as blue, Yellow Claw, and then Abinsur. Okay. Now after this, what we can do, we can also perform here and or operator. So let me give the condition with and or operator. So what I will do here, I will just write here df dot query, and inside this let me just give the condition. So I will give the condition here, let's say publisher is DC Comics, and also I will give the condition as eye color as blue. So let me write here eye color is equal to blue, and second condition I will give here publisher is equal to DC Comics. So now if I'm executing this, then you can see that in output I am getting the publisher as DC Comics and eye color as blue. So and means your first condition should be also true and the second condition will be also true. So you can see that we are getting the names in which the eye color is blue and publisher is DC Comics. Now you can also use the or operator here. So let me write another query here. So I'll just write here df.query, and in this query let me just copy this condition, and in this condition instead of blue, let's see our eye color. So we are having a eye color as white also and green, right? So I'll just write here eye color as green, and or let's change the publisher as, we are also having the Marvel comics, right? So I'll just write here Marvel. So let's understand how does or operator works here. So or operator works means if this is the first condition, either this should be true or the second condition should be true. If either one of them is correct, then the result will be true, right? So if you see here, here eye color is yellow, but however the publisher is Marvel Comics. So we are getting this in the output. Similarly, if you are going down, here you can see that eye color is white, but we are getting publisher as Marvel Comics. So we are getting our output, right? Similarly here, if you see, we are also having the green colors and publisher as Marvel Comics. So if the both condition is also satisfying, then the output will be also true. So this is the basic idea about and or. Now let me give some other condition also. If I'm writing here, let's suppose df.query, and if you see, we are having a weight as a column name, right? So what I can do here, I can give the condition, let's suppose the weight is greater than 100. So if I'm running this, you can see that here I am getting weight greater than 100. So there are 149 rows or 149 records in which the weight is greater than 100. Now let me just give some other condition also. If I am writing here, let's suppose gender, we are having both gender male and female. So I'll give the condition here, gender doesn't equal to male. So what will I get in output? We'll get the answer in output as a female gender, right? So if I'm running it, you can see that there are 229 records in which the gender is female, right? And Wonder Woman, Wondera, Angela, right? So basically we are using query function to filter out the data, and this is a very useful and the another way that we can use in the pandas. Now, if you remember that I have already given you the example, right? That in any particular categorical column, if you want any specific value, then we can create a list, right? So let's see that example. So I'll just write here df.query, and in this query, what I will do here, let's take any categorical column. So when I'm talking about categorical column, so that means the value will be in string here. So this is the categorical column. This is also a categorical column. Even eye color is also a categorical column. So let me take here the name. So in name, I will just write here, let's suppose I'll write here name in, and I will create a list. And in this list, let me just write here Wonder Woman. And let me just write here X23. Let me take here Zetna 2. So we know that Wonder Woman, this is a string value. So I have to put into a quotes, right? So let me just put into a single quotes. Same for X23. So now when I will execute this, you will see that I will get all the details for Wonder Woman, X23 and Zetna. So on execution, you can see that I'm getting all the information about these three names. Similarly, you can also use here the not in. So let me just copy and paste. So when I'm using here not in, so that means except this, I will get all the names in my output. So let me run it. So you can see that I'm getting 731 rows, right? And what was my total rows? 734. So it excluded only 3 rows and rest we are getting in our output, right? So this is the basic idea. Now, also, you can create an environment variable in pandas.query. So how to create an environment variable? So let's see here the weight column. We are already having the weight column. So I'll just create here a new weight. So I'll just write here new underscore weight. And let's suppose it's 200, right? Now, this is my environment variable. Let's understand how you can use this environment variable and how you can filter the data. So I will just write here df.query. And now I'll just write here my weight. So if you see, this is my weight column, right? So let me just write here weight greater than. Now I'll just write here new underscore weight. If you see here, I have created an environment variable whose value is 200. And if you see this weight, we are having several values which are bigger than 200. So when I am just putting the condition here, so in output, it will display all the values which are bigger than 200. But for that, since this is an environment variable, so I have to put here at the rate symbol here. If I'm not putting it and executing it, you will see that I'm getting an error, right? So let me just write here at the rate. Now if I'm running it, you can see that I'm getting an error because I have to put here single quote. Let me run this, and you can see that we got the weight more than 200, right? So this is the output. Okay, so in this way also you can filter the data. So let me remove here the @ symbol and show you if I'm executing it. You can see that I'm getting an error. Now I'm getting my output. So this is the basic idea about Pandas query. So now let's take a quick recap for this tutorial. So first we have understand about the Python, in which we have seen different packages of Python, and one of the most important library that we are having in Python is Pandas library, right? And after that we have seen that Pandas provides several filtering methods, and one of the filtering method is we are having here df.query method. So basically this method is used to filter the data. Once we have understand the concept of the query method, we have seen the practical implementation of it. So this is all about the course.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any query or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.